We're big. We're big, we're good to go. I think we are. And we make this big. Yeah, we should be basically about right, I think. Hello, if you're watching this, by the way. I'm just setting up the final little bits I need to before we get into it. And then we've just got Ko-fi here. Opening the queue for that for anyone that's interested. Okay. All right. Sup, shredders. My name is Logan, aka Spiderhands, and welcome to an SB live streams. It is fan requests number 36 today. $5 fan requests 36. Where for just $5 you can go to our Ko-fi. The link is in the description. You can donate $5 and you can get yourself a song reviewed under 5 minutes. Sup, Judith? How you doing? Welcome to the live stream. Hopefully you're well. If we switch over to here, we have fishies. It is fishy stream. Well, not entirely. But it's good to be here. It's good to be chatting. It's good to be doing stuff. We're gonna be here probably for like an hour or so. I've got some work to do later today, but we'll see how we go with that. It's been a couple of days since I live streamed. There's been a bit of stuff going on. Nothing too heavy. I think I've finally gotten the webcam to a point where I'm happy with it. I know I keep saying that, but it's just relearning how to adjust like the white balance levels and the colors and all that kind of stuff, and just kind of getting the lights set up the way I want them and stuff like that. You know, it's all good. Thank you. Yeah, no, it's things are good. I've actually there's been some really positive stuff that I can't really say too much about at this point in time, but it's gonna make life a bit easier, which will be good. Which will be good. Updates on the channel before we get into stuff. I've recorded the first of the SB Google's videos I want to put out this weekend. They went on Jay Chow. I did not realize that Jay Chow met his wife when she was 14. I did not realize that they met when she was 14. That's pretty wild to me. Is this having like an issue? Why is it slowing down? Is it having a bad time? What the hell's going on? If I get out of that all looks okay. It's just this is having an issue. High GPU usage. What do you mean high GPU usage? What's going on here? Why is OBS using 100% of my GPU? Why? I'll get a game capture profile unrelated. GPU encode is 100%. Why? Why is it doing that every time? It's going down now. Very weird. Is it because I've got a certain effect on? If I go to here, that is very weird that OBS will be pushing it like that because it is specifically OBS. If I go to my big me and I go filters, chroma key, does chroma key get rid of it? Chroma key's not getting rid of anything. There's not a chroma key. Is it what if I just get rid of that immediately? Nope, it's 87%, it's 85, 86%, 100% GPU. Interesting. I don't think I've ever had the GPU be this high on it before. Why 100%? Is there something that's going on? Like, it's really struggling with this. Is it a display capture? No, the display capture's on. What specifically is it that's causing the issues in this? Okay, I'm gonna just do some Googling offline. Hang on. Why is OBS running GPU 100%? Okay. Right. Okay, so let's just get rid of some stuff then. So, like, I have 3 big me's. So get rid of the third one. Remove. What else do I have that I don't need? Has that lowered it a bit? A little bit, but not much. Rear stream? We don't have rear stream going at the moment. Display capture is clearly like an obvious thing that needs to be there. SEO input capture. What? Yeah. So if I like get rid of this big me, and if I get rid of the display capture, what is it doing? It's still 82%. Really weird. Really weird. Oh. Hmm. That's crazy. Sup, Pianist, welcome to the live stream. I'm having issues. Yeah. Wow. Okay. I don't know what the hell's going on. Suppresses. It's the video encode. Hmm. There's nothing else I'm extra. Game capture. I don't have that. We can probably remove game capture at this point. Green screen. Don't know what that is. Get rid of that. Black solid. Get rid of that. Background. Is that what that is? Is that what that is? Is it giving me some like that? Hmm. This is probably not very exciting for you guys watching this, eh? Um, it's just weird that my OBS would be spiking to 100%. Game capture HD in task. I shouldn't be doing that at all. Uh, audio input capture? Audio input capture. I don't have that at all. Yeah, okay. That's really weird. Remove audio input capture? Restream? Yeah, I'm gonna probably go and try and figure out what's going on here. We can diagnose it in stream. Yeah, it's really having a problem with 2 screens at once. What if I just get rid of that? A3. Yeah. Why is it so hot? Is there something going on in here? OBS Studio, MSI Afterburner. Oh, fuck. Oh, good. No, 50. 50. Bro, 50. There we go. What the hell is going on? It just like it continues to spike. There we go. Yeah, 62. Hmm. There you go. That's better. Voltage, 55 degrees. If I show that one back. Yeah, that's 52 constant now. I mean, like, it's like, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I suppose that's it. What are my stream settings on OBS? Stream output. Streaming is 1500 kilobits, slow, good quality, high quality. Main, GB2. Do I just need a better GPU or something to be able to do this? I don't see why I would need to though, because like I have. Well, at least it seems like it's happier now. So it's a constant 48. So that's cool. Okay, so we're back to the live stream now. That was kind of wild. I just had my like GPU going to like I suppose 70 degrees, simply trying to run Opera GX, which is very weird. It looks like we have a song through from Leo, so thank you to Leo for that. I noticed there was a lot of people who put through requests last week, of last time for Hua Xin Yu. People seem to be vibing with that, which is cool. Yeah, it's 47 degrees now. So that's cool. It's working now. Yeah, it's just, I think there was just some sort of like issue where like, for whatever reason, I hadn't enabled like the fan curve with, I hadn't enabled the fan curve with it. So at the moment, the GPU is at 47 degrees, which is totally normal. It's just, I was basically, because I'm putting all the streaming stuff on the GPU, it just needed some time, I suppose, to figure itself out. But yeah, Leo, thank you for your request. What do we got? What do we got from Leo today? Ah, Hua Xin Yu, yes. All right, so we got Quirky Psychology from Hua Xin Yu. And, cool. Here we go. And get that in there. And sweet. Cool, let's do it. Let's do it. Thank you very much for your request, Leo. I like the groove of the guitar with the drums. I think that's a nice touch. Oh, they've got backing vocalists. Nice. So these are different shots from different concerts, I assume.
自啊，我抹去皮毛，烙印和符号，融入了人世间一角。
It's great at the piano slide over here. Really gorgeous.
强大和骄傲，只为能被人看到真实的样貌。他们都对我质疑和微笑，算不算是人可是好？怪物的心里，我终于明了，越渴望越离困扰，却更困扰。
Hell of a glissando down to the low end there.
脱掉礼貌，放手，这气氛刚刚好，这里的骄好笑，谁在路口就要自然的规则，是忘掉。
That was a sick song. Interesting to have the cuckoo clock at the end there. That was Hua Xin Yu with Quirky Psychology. I thought there was a great sense of groove with the track overall. I mean, I'm assuming it's about maybe psychology or like your thought processes or state of mind. Maybe different ways of approaching that sort of stuff. The vocals are well handled by Hua Xin Yu. Clearly, they know how to sing. They're confident on stage. It's typical sort of like thoughts and feelings I have about Hua Xin Yu's stuff. He's consistent on the mic. And I think part of what I liked about this track was that we not only stayed within our sort of natural head and chest voice, but we also had those upper octave harmonies that niched really neatly on top of each other. I thought it was really pretty how those coalesced. So I'm thankful to have heard with backing vocals, just like the kind of range we can get with that and how beautiful those harmonies are. I think the track at 3 minutes 52 is really well laid out there. We have an intense inherent catchiness to the piece there, not just because of the quirky sounding, but also memorable vocal melodies and harmonies from Hua Xin Yu and Co. It's also that the fundamental sort of guitar, bass, and drums, the groove we had there with the 1 and 2 and 4, 3 and 4, and kind of feeling there was really tight rhythmically. We had some great tones with the distorted guitars in the rhythm section there, with the vocals kind of formulating a lot of the leads there. At the flute kind of leads that we had in some parts there were a nice sort of peppy how to describe it? That they worked really well as kind of like a transparent higher bit of resonance within the track, and we then we had various chord progressions and bass lines to go through until that middle section where the piano came in and how it cascaded and rose and danced around. It was fantastic work on the keys there. I liked how beautiful it was, how the range of notes we used, the different colorations of the triads, and how Hua Xin Yu still had a great sense of purpose within that position. Then, of course, moving into like a faster sort of glissando, but where I went down and kind of ended on that low note with a bit of tension, and we kind of held things for the 1, 2, 3, 4 part before inevitably entering back into that main sort of like groove with the guitar, bass, and drum. So it was like a kind of a broader ABA section, and I think that was well handled. Like clearly we know how to write songs, and it was more of a conservative composition, I think, but I feel like it was more accessible in part because of that. It kind of reminded me of a lot of late 2000s, early 2010s sort of pop stuff when the distorted guitar was still a bit more sort of like involved in that. A bit of edge to it, bit of sassiness, but not too much. And it was kind of groovy, was still potentially sort of discussing some darker subject matter, or rather lighter stuff about embracing one's quirkiness, according to Judith, and accepting oneself. So I think that's cool. The studio recording, mixing, and mastering was tight. No complaints whatsoever about the way things leveled in the mix. It was a really well-produced live mix, and it was commercial grade with Hua Xin Yu's vocals clear in the mix alongside the guitar, bass, drums, piano, flutes, and everything else. So thank you very much for that request, Leo. I appreciate it. Le Pianiste said this is one of his new songs. I think it's a pretty good song. I liked it. And sup, Owen Rose, welcome to the live stream. Hopefully you're well. Hopefully you're all having a good day so far. Now that we've finally sorted out the issue with OBS. I think the fan curve I have is going to perpetually be 57 degrees, 57%, which is like not necessarily what I want, but it's what we've got. So what other tracks do we have today? We have a track from Judith next, which is cool. Be good to hear that. Thanks for your request. I'm going to just have some water whilst I do this because my throat's feeling a bit funny. I'm glad I took the day off the other day that I did. I thought that was good to sort of take care of that. Much better. Much better. No, I forgot that I'm doing this I'm doing this at a certain time where that stuff likes to turn off. There we go. Awesome. Let's continue then. So this is A Tale of Man and Car by Eason Chan. Gonna load that up on Spotify, which will be good. Track 2 for today. So Owen, you go through the Ko-fi. The link is down in the description of the video. So if you go to the link in the description via Ko-fi, you can submit a request for $5 for a track of your choice. And we'll play up to 5 minutes of it. So yeah, that's cool, man. But yeah, Judith's pick here by Eason Chan, Tale of Car Man. Let's go.
Come on, oh yeah, yeah.
Ah, fantastic to have the trumpet set, man. Great load of those.
大銀幕相當廣闊，在投射出想去的地方，面前是雙探路燈，都是黑了，我在馬路發光，出去一下，還在戒煙，還用買煙嗎？出去一下，原來為見一見他，出去一下，瞞着太太才獨處一下，出去一下。
I love the drum grooves, man. There's so much. It's great to have those leads with the brass though. Fantastic trade-off. And that trade-off again, very well done. And that bass line underneath that is nuts. Sup, Luna, Flute in a Box, how you doing? Excellent. That was fantastic. Really enjoyed that. So that was A Tale of Kara Man by Eason Chan. Just gonna have a quick read through the lyrics kindly provided by Judith for this. Wide silver screen projecting where I want to go. Headlights in the front. City's gone dark, but I'm shining on the road. Yay! So it's about cars. I like that. That's awesome. You left the bag at office again because I want to go and see her. Hop on and stare at the dashboard, pray about the difficulties, and think about how I should make this turn, ride the slope, and go down this hill. Cool. So I think, as per the lyrics I've read from Judith, putting them through in the message, I think this track is about someone that is just really loves their car, man. Just likes finding any excuse they can to drive it and sort of have that time with them. It's fun, bit of quirkiness with it. It's kind of wholesome, really. I appreciate the kind of angles we discuss within the lyrics. The vocal performance from Eason Chan is really palatable and it's confident and it's kind of upbeat and cheery and friendly. And I think a lot of people are going to sort of appreciate the concept of having their own time, as well as the way that we sing it. We're comfortable in a hidden chest voice. You know, Eason Chan is a very confident vocalist and has got a lot of prestige and polish. And there's no lack of it here. Really compelling vocal melodies and harmonies, some interesting ideas, and the falsetto in the later stages as well. Whilst we had the fun stuff going on with the bass build up and everything like that was really cool too. It just sounds like someone who just wants to have fun driving around in their car, man. The pace of the track at 350, should I say not 353? This is the previous track, isn't it? At 4 minutes 09. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my it's a bit worrying, but that's okay. We'll figure that out. The pace of the track at like 4 minutes 09 is the right length, I think. You had enough going on with the brass solos, with the drum grooves, with the beer, with the bass, and then the guitar, sort of like wicka wicka kind of wah stuff going on, some of the key parts as well. A lot of things involved, not just vocals the entire time. You had enough compositional diversity in order to keep this intriguing. So part of what I liked about it, I suppose, aside from the fact that it's very easy to go through the different verse and chorus sections and stuff like that, you know, the track made a lot of sense structurally, is the drums. The drums had some really phenomenal 8th, 16th, and even 32nd note grooves with the different buzz rolls and ghost notes that they had. There was a very intricate, really kind of, it's really tricky drum groove there, and lots of different little like adjustments and stuff to keep things sounding kind of fancy throughout. It has sort of a jazzy vibe to it. As the pianist said, it's like a very chill vibe. It's just really wonderfully textured in regards to percussion, and the bass line, especially later on, does not sort of fall behind it. It maintains a sense of pace with the drums, as well as reinforcing the root notes of the guitar, the keys, and also whatever the brass is doing on top. A nice foundation for that. But it also adjusts its rhythms later on, becomes a bit more sort of like rambunctious and a bit more entertaining, and makes the most of the space that's provided by there being a lack of a distinct vocal, like a storyline to follow at that later stage. Then we're kind of moving around in a falsetto and kind of just riffing off of it. The keys there with the extended chords provide a little bit of sort of like emotional complexity to the piece, whilst still sounding breezy and not too intense. So it was kind of like a bit airy, but in a positive way. It was a very chill vibe. And the brass there, peppy and energetic, almost displaying a sense of joy with the harmonies there, as to be able to go out in the car and drive it and have fun doing that. with the guitar with a constant 16th note pace there, providing a sense of speed with it alongside the faster tempo on the drums what everyone else is doing. So I think overall very well orchestrated. The theme itself does sound nice and friendly and upbeat and positive sounding without being too over the top. It's not like it's a completely positive track, but the majority of it is, and it just sounds it's chill, but it's very chic. And I think again the chord extensions there, the intricacy of the bass drum performances and stuff like that, as well as the again the peppiness and energy of those brasses, as well as just the chill demeanor from East and Chan, they bring it all together. The studio recording, mixing, and mastering, that was commercial grade. Everything's nicely balanced in a free spectrum stereo field. Vocals are easy to hear, nice and loud without pumping, dynamic range, etc. The works. Very well done. Thank you to Judith for putting this track forward. I appreciate that. And yeah, if you, I hope you all, including Blue Dinner Box, everyone else, I hope you guys are having a good day today so far. That is request number 2 for today. What else do we have? We have a track from Leo. I'm keeping this list updated because sometimes reviews come through and they sneak up on me. So Leo's put through quite a lot of tracks today. Thank you, Leo, for those. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on when the amount of requests versus the amount of time, because I've got to finish at a certain point today. But we've got a fair bit of time to go, so we'll continue moving forward. With that, Leo, thank you for your request. Track number 3 for today is the band view of the 7 personalities Hua Shin Yu. So we've got Leo here, this one, and this is on Bilibili, so that's interesting. No. This is the band view, and Leo. Here we go. So we're going to go to Bilibili for this next one, which should be good. It's been a while since I've been on Bilibili. Probably going to get asked to log in, but that's fine. Let's do it. Oh, good. It's nice to have the actual band view. I appreciate that. Thank you, Leo. 7 personalities. This makes me happy because you get to see them actually play it. See how soft he's being with those cymbals? It's beautiful, man. Oh, okay. Sorry about that, guys. There we go. Continue. I mean, I enjoy this equally to watching Hua Shin Yu sing and play because I feel like the whole song is what makes it special, right? It's great to see the band vibing along to it. That'd be so tense. Imagine being off the click. Phenomenal finger work. Is that guitar in tune? man, he's doing well. Wonderfully delicate lead line on the guitar here. So they had to get oh. I want to pause it really quickly. So you know how he's got a different guitar right now. Part of the reason why they probably switched over to the other guitars with their electric is so that this guy could switch over guitars to his rhythm part. That's smart. Great bends. Have a sweet picking here. Phenomenal guitar solo. What I like about this track, so this is going to be a little bit more, a little bit different of a bit feedback for me than the previous track. The previous time we reviewed this, because previously I think we reviewed the 7 personalities with Huaxin Yu in the forefront, and we didn't have the band as apparent as we have now. So I'm going to review specifically on the instrumentalists I saw here. I thought that the guitarists did a phenomenal job, both with the nylon fingerstyle, sort of more classical aspect of it. I thought the arpeggios were tremendous, and the way we went through those bar chords was sensational. We got great clarity there, fantastic precision with the metronome for the most part. And then, you know, like we had these rhythm parts there with the distortion, the alternate picking there, the chugs, and the speed, the heaviness of the 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and it was tremendous how tight we were in regards to that with the bass and drums. The lead guitarist, though, I think stole the show in a sense. Like the way we started so gently and delicately with that solo section, about a minute before he came with that last part with the sweeps, and then the super duper shred like solo thing kind of going on at the end was just. It was like apparent that we were going to get something kind of special going on, and then we had some bends, and it got really pretty. And then we had like different ways of approaching a lead solo in one track, where eventually we came across the shred there where we were doing like an arpeggio. I think it might have been a major, bum 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 bum. It was a major, but we were modulating it up half a step to be kind of like an exotic melodic harmonic kind of vibe there, which was kind of dope. And then of course we had the final part where we shredded all the way down from the high E down to the low E with the chromatics at the end to go bow 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 bow. And it's just tremendous technique. It's thorough pocketing by the lead guitarist who could clearly play far more complicated stuff than that, but knew not to for the sake of making it a better performance or a better sounding track. The guitars, like a lot of different interesting harmonies and melodies were put forward here that seg neatly into each other. The bass player, again, being thoroughly supportive of everything else going on, very easy to listen to those grooves. They're definitely not the forefront, but foundational, supportive in that lower end. The drummer did a great job of pocketing as well. Like we typically tried to keep a sense of pace with what the bass and the guitars were doing without outshining Huaxin Yu for obvious reasons. Yeah, you know, as a drummer, in certain genres, you can push ahead and be more sort of rambunctious, but in genres like this, you know, you want to sort of be more kind of this is my role is to basically again provide a sense of rhythm, support, and groove, and we handled that here. I think the drum was tight. They nailed their like patterns and fills and everything like that really neatly. But lovely simple shimmers near the end, great technique. And it was just great to hear them play, then watch them play their instruments. There were some really interesting decisions made with the way of performance stuff, and I've got absolutely no complaints about that. So thank you to Leo for putting that track forward. I felt was wonderful. I have more of an appreciation for this piece now that I've watched the band. I know it's not feasible to have everyone together at the same time and pay equal attention, but this is part of why I'm glad that they have a band cam so that you can like check that out if you want to. That's cool. Yeah, you don't know anything. Yeah, you'll be so nervous. Yeah, I would be too. I imagine in this situation, I mean, that's literally your career if you miss a note. I don't know anything about guitar. That's okay. I've been playing guitar for 20 years. I know a bit about the instrument, and it's a lot of fun, but it can also be kind of spicy if you go about it the wrong ways, which is why it's good if you can find someone to help teach you. Would recommend, but you can also teach yourself as well. Either way, as long as you're having fun, that is the main thing. But yeah, thank you to Aqua24 for this new request we've got after Leo's. What have we got from Aqua24 today? Hopefully, if you're watching this, Aqua, you're having a good day today. This is on Spotify. It's FIR 24. It's from FIR titled I'm not sure, but we'll find out. But we definitely can check that out. I at the very least don't see any reason why we can't. Let Go of Love from FIR. Cool, let's do it. We definitely have audio today. You're welcome. You're welcome. So we're gonna find this on Spotify as promised. I assume it is this one. I could be wrong, but I'm guessing it is. So thank you to Aqua24 for this. Great dynamic range there with the choir vocals at the start. I love those harmonized guitars, man. They sounded gorgeous. I mean, it's lovingly textured with all the different instrumental layers. Oh, that tension, dude. That was very dramatic, but I dig it. That slow down now. And the synths.
果你的心已不在，把爱放开，不再等待。你的温柔是一片空白，把爱放开，把心打开。这次我决定走出回忆重来，就让我彻底的伤，再彻底的醒过来。终于明白，爱已不在，从今以后再也没有什么能去依赖，我还有什么期待？
Oh, key change?
把爱放开，把
No.
手放开。如果你的心
Parallel major, maybe.
不在，把爱放开，不再等待。你的温柔是一片空白，把爱放开，把心打开。这次我决定走出所有回忆重来，就让我彻底的伤，再彻底的醒过来，就让我彻底的伤，再彻底的醒过来。
No, well done. Very good. So this is a track titled Let Go of Love from FIR, and I assume that it is about letting go of love. Just get the art up there for everyone to take care of. This is a track which is really complicated. There is just so much stuff going on within this piece that's very difficult, I think, to get the hang of it on a first listen basis, but I'll have a go. I think that one of the strengths of this track is the way that we handled the vocals. There are these constant male-female harmonies which just inextricably let them sort of like really like tap into the power of having those stacked different vocal ranges and the way that they can kind of like harmonize and sort of coalesce with one another. I thought that they were really pretty. It was potentially also nice to have the male and female version of Letting Go of Love as almost a sort of like for a non-native speaker, just to kind of like, oh, it's a guy and a woman talking about their own like views on letting go of love and stuff like that. They both had great sort of vocal technique. We hit the notes cleanly. We didn't overcomplicate. Like we had like more like a movement in the middle of the section there where I think the lady was singing a lot of different melodies in this part, which is really pretty. And it was great to have like a different lead element in there. But I feel like they also worked together just as well as when they were apart. I suppose that'd be like the closest thing we had to a solo within this track within reason. It's because I don't remember there being any other significant like lead parts there. I could be tripping. It's such a big sounding track. We had so many different instruments within this piece. So with the understanding that the vocals were handled well, there were some catchy, compelling harmonies and melodies within the choruses and verses, as well as an interlude section as well, with that interesting parallel major rising up, thinking it was going to be a key change, but then coming back down for like that middle eight. I thought that was a great fake out. It's a song where, you have, if I remember the instruments vaguely, we have guitar, bass, drums, sitar, keys, strings. Clearly there was a string section as well. We had lots of different synths as well, like little synth textures and sort of pseudo percussive parts, and like that like suddenly come through on this side, like a worm or whatever like that. It kind of makes you again wonder why that is. It's very it piques my curiosity. I think that there's like all the instruments within this track, despite the complexity of the arrangement and like some of the more complicated parts that each instrument was playing, they were all handled well and niche together, well in the frequency spectrum there. So they clearly understand how to write music. A few of my favorites were again like the strings, actually, like the violins and stuff like that. I liked how they didn't just play legato. It's like down, bound, like they were perky and they popped off and they danced around the stereo field a little bit, and they knew to kind of slow down in parts, but then to be sort of a bit more energetic in other bits there. And they were a great sort of foil to what was going on. Sorry about that, guys. There we go. That is my Those are my lesson alarms. You might hear a few of them during the live stream. It's just reminding me at the end of each like lesson that I have to sort of like move on to the next student or something like that. But either way, I think that yeah, what else did I like? I thought that no, the drums were good as well. I appreciated a lot of the different drum grooves that we had scattered throughout the piece there. We never felt like we were oversaturating the piece with drums. And the drums did have a bit of heft to them, but I also knew how to sort of stick to the lighter elements when things needed to sort of float a little bit. We also knew when to not have the drums there. And we displayed an innate sense of that sort of nuance there, understanding where it's appropriate and where it's not, whilst also keeping a firm sense of groove and pace within the piece. Oh, and of course we had see, this is what I mean. There's just so much to take in. The harmonized guitar leads at the start. They were also one of my favorite parts. I remember that. They were glorious the way they came in. I suppose my brain was like, it wasn't a complicated guitar solo, therefore it wasn't a pseudo lead. But no, it was definitely the lead element with the lead guitarists. They were sort of like popping off against the vocals there. It's a really, there's a lot of love put into this piece, but it was such a gorgeous guitar harmony in that earlier section there, and it sounded epic. And you just had no idea what you were going to have next within this track. I think that's part of why I adore it, as well as other songs I've heard from FIR. It's the theme overall is minorish for the most part, I think, because it's not a happy sounding song. They're not happy to have to let go of love. The minor progressions we had within it, combined with the tension of the tone of the guitars, the strings there, even in parts where we're trying to look up, we still kind of get weighed down by it. We might have had a resolution at the end, but it took a while to get there. And the pregnant pause there in certain parts, like other parts were kind of slowed down for dramatic effect, and we kind of let the synths or the keys come out or something like that. There was just, it almost seemed like we were literally going through that realization that we had to let go in real time. I think the composition was pretty clever for being able to do that. The studio recording, mixing, and mastering was commercial grade. Everything, including the vocals, guitar, bass, drums, strings, synths, everything else was nicely niched within the frequency spectrum stereo field. No issues with like the leveling of stuff. Nice to know without pumping the bus compression, limiting his handle. It was a really well produced track. It wouldn't have been easy to put it all together, but they did. And I had a great time with it. I thought it was a really well written track and well performed. Thank you to Aqua24 for your request. You like the heavy drums into the chorus? That's awesome. And I'm glad to hear that Le Pianiste likes the song as well. I think it's a really well written song. I think it'd be difficult to dislike this track. You'd have to, yeah, it would. I think technically there are just tracks like this where it's like, how could you dislike it, like from like a actual in regards to its proficiency as a written song? It's difficult to do that. Oh yeah, no, we're gonna have to. I need to close the queue now, but thanks for your requests so far. I will do Leo, Judith, Dinner, Hey, and Leo, Judith, Dinner, Hey, and yeah, that was crazy. Requests before I finish. Yes, I'm closing the queue now, guys. I'm sorry. I have work. I got to teach some new students later after this live stream, but I appreciate. Yeah. Wow. Holy shit. Okay. Wow. And we've been in this live stream for 40 minutes, and like already, like it's like we're completely booked. Like there's just no room. As well as Chrominos. Thanks to all of you for your requests. They will get done, but I can't do more today. I really can't. Because I really need to make sure I don't rush through these either. That just would be just being disrespectful, you know? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, let's get into it. Let's get cracking, eh? So there's 8. Thanks for your request. So this is from Leo, and this track is titled Hua Xin Yu Rock Medley 2024 Mars Concert Nanchang Today Multitam. You can start at 11. Thank you very much for letting me know. Okay, let's do it. 8. Let's do it. Good. All right. Starting from 11. Man, I'm really struggling. It won't give me exactly 11. There we go. Is this a song I know? I know this one, right? We can probably go theater spin for this. Probably the same, to be honest. There we are. Ah, thank you. I like the transfer to the major key. It sounds quite positive. Hell of a lot of sub bass though. So they've got the same guitarists per show, I assume, which makes sense. Yeah, that technically counts as a song, doesn't it? We're moving into a different one. Yeah, because it's a per song thing. I'm not trying to like cheap out of it, but even though it's a medley, if we're going to the next song afterwards, I feel like that is the one song that we've had there. Yeah, because this is like 5 or 6 songs, and it's one song per review. So I thought that this track, it's about sort of like trying to sort of focus on what he wants to do with his own life, and people sort of laughing and having opinions when they really should be staying out of their own business and not kind of getting involved in that. And I think that that makes a lot of sense. It's an interesting track for sure. If I go back to the start of that. a black and white artist. It's basically like not taking someone for, it's just being like 1 or 2 dimensional. It's letting them know there are multiple, so like angles you can approach him with, and to not be sort of overwhelmed or overloaded by that. And to sort of be true to yourself, I suppose. The vocal performance from Hua Xin Yu here was great. No complaints at all about the way that we sort of approach things. Really comfortable with his head and chest voice there. That with the crowd singing along. Clearly very confident on stage there. Easy to listen to. Great sort of character, a bit of personality, a bit of tongue in cheek there. And further intensity in the chorus section with the harmonies as well. They glowed. They were beautiful. It was a nice contrast to the darkness of the verse. And I think that we handled the variety there really neatly. There was dynamic range with the guitar parts that we had earlier on the piece there. It was a song which at like 3 minutes or so was quite well structured and effortlessly went through it without any hitches there. There was a sense of a sinister sort of like darkness again to that guitar where to start there, moving into a more sort of like upbeat pattern that we had in like the chorus sections with sort of we were trying to be a bit more sort of like defiant, saying that we can't like let that person sort of take it away from us. Like we're trying to sort of fight against that. And those major power chord elements there with the drums and bass sort of grooving along, a nice sort of full sounding track there. It has a lot of strength behind it. It's just nice to have that A B between the darkness of the verse there with the minor focuses, and then that sort of like shift there to the relative there. Bit of melodic and harmonic there for the scale choices there, but a nice contrast ultimately. I think that the vocals were clearly the focal point. There were lead guitars in there, but they were relatively subtle there. I think having the lead guitars, though, as an alternative lead with Hua Xin Yu was smart because it just adds more range there and makes it seem like everybody's sort of like a big team. And I think with like, because like it seemed like we had like the actual live recorded mix there, so not everything was like level in the headphones, but still, it was great to listen to. Hell of a lot of sub bass there, so the actual sort of feel of it would have been really intense for people singing along. Clearly easy to sing along to because you had the crowd singing along with Hua Xin Yu during that track. The studio recording, mixing, and mastering, given the fact that it's like a mic of the show itself, was pretty well handled there. Things were nicely, you know, like it sounded like a live performance should. And I think that, you know, it was commercial grade for the recording we got of it. And I've got no complaints about it whatsoever. Everyone looked like having a great time. And it seemed like an authentic performance as well. I think Hua Xin Yu just wants to be themselves and wants to not be put into a box. And I kind of appreciate that. So thank you, Leo, for that request of Hua Xin Yu's Rock Medley 2024, with the black and white artist being the track that we reviewed for that. So that was cool. And the ha 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 that we had there was just really cool. I liked that bit of personality there, a bit of quirkiness. I thought that was really neat. Yeah. So the next track is from Leo again. Thank you, Leo, for that. Shinyuda says there was a supervisor on the morning shift today, so I couldn't stay on the computer watching the show. It's okay. This is the beauty of these, is that we have the playback usually. I know sometimes stuff gets cut. It's just the nature of YouTube and copyright, but I appreciate you coming along when you can to watch it. It's good to, and thanks as well for your requests as well. But I'm glad to hear the explanation was, and Quo Dahlia says black and white artists. Yeah, absolutely. Quo Dahlia, welcome to the live stream, by the way. Hopefully you're well. Yeah, it's kind of a shame that I can't take more requests, but also I literally could not if I wanted to. It's just too busy. It's just, today is too busy. But this is Leo sending through when the whole world forgets me. Hua Xin Yu is a song about himself. It has English subs. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Leo. When the whole world forgets me. The subtitles are enabled. Very different feel to his previous stuff.
假如能延续那一份热烈，就让我固执到结果。多一秒欢呼声将我包围，在此刻要沉醉忘我。多一声尖叫呐喊，让我想起被爱着的那几个名字是我。
Interesting ambience.
假如那追光追赶着我，能否请它真正的照亮我？假如那烟火燃尽后陨落，别再散落结花伤我。假如舞台上剩一个我，生死离结，台下孤独满座。假如人群散去后太落寞，能不能给我一面镜子，让我陪我所有快乐，拥抱我和悲伤我，叫我忘了眼里的段落。当我回头望向找到幸福的线索，让曙光拉长我的影子藏里外，所有过往看透我后背起我，留下一首痛斥我的歌，让这世界就此忘了我曾存在过。
Phenomenal piano work.
请别想要在这救我。假如可以让世界沉默，别吵醒这个梦。假如这场演出也要落幕，散场之后，我也会忘了我。
Phenomenal key performance. Like, I like Hua Xinyu's vocals, don't get me wrong. That was an incredible song. That was When the Whole World Forgets Me from Hua Xinyu. I think it's a track about someone who's looking at their own position in the world, where they're at, what they're going to accomplish, or what they need to do in order to find some semblance of position within it. And they're looking at how they'll be remembered, what that will mean, what happens when the curtain when the curtain goes down. You know, like what will happen when people aren't paying attention to anymore? What will their legacy be? And I feel like that's a really poignant, wonderful thing to sort of think about. But I also understand why it's got a minor feel to it, because there's a bit of sadness in realizing that no matter what you do, you'll eventually be forgotten. It's just the way it is. We're all just bits of stardust. So, yeah, it's sobering. I think everybody could probably relate to what Hua Xinyu is talking about here. And I think that again, the way we sung with a tremendous amount of vocal, vocal range, we're comfortable in a head, chest, and falsetto in certain parts there. Great dynamic range, massive amount of feeling within it, sense of romanticism to the way that we described it. It was like an old school kind of like crooner kind of performance there, where you could kind of imagine someone on stage with a pianist like in 1930s, 1940s, etc. Beautiful music. The keys alongside Hua Xin Yu sound gorgeous, really comfortable across the entire kit. Like we explore the entire range of the keyboard, and we have a lot of development and variety within the actual parts that we're playing there. We don't just play the same chord progressions or triads the entire time. We split it into different rhythms, like the quarters, eighths, triplets, and sixteenths. We have a lot of we know when to make the most of the gaps that we have. And I like the fact that we're technical in some parts, incredibly quick, but with dynamic range, with a clear sort of understanding of what that choice would make in regards to what they were doing with Hua Xin Yu. And it seemed like the pianist again was trying to sort of show the raw emotion that Hua Xin Yu was feeling through the piano work as well, as it got bigger and bigger over time, as we built up and kind of got towards that natural conclusion. I think ultimately it's just a really satisfying track that showcases the best qualities of Hua Xin Yu in a different environment to what we've had previously, and I enjoyed my time with it. And I think the theme itself is someone sitting again in that club, in that lounge after the curtain's gone down, thinking about what they're going. There's a lot of complexity to the actual piano performance itself. It's trying to illustrate all the different things that Hua Xin Yu is playing. So it is complicated, but it also shows the sense of sophistication that is on display here from Hua Xin Yu as an artist and as a musician. And the key player just nails the performance. The studio recording, mixing, and mastering is commercial grade, no complaints there. Nice leveling of everything. And it's very intimate. And thank you to Leo for their request of this track from an act named Hua Xin Yu, titled When the Whole World Forgets Me. We got 7 more to go. Sup, Hua Xin Yu English subs. Welcome to the live stream. I'm glad you guys are enjoying watching the videos of these. And it seems like you've also been to some performances as well, which would have been pretty cool. I imagine it would have been pretty huge to be able to go to some of these musicians live, especially like Hua Xin Yu with it, where you guys clearly loving the bits. I've intern. I hope Hua can do his US tour soon. Has Hua Xin Yu been to the States? I don't know if they have or not, but that'd be interesting. Interesting for sure. If they have, I'm not sure. We might have discussed, I'm not sure. But this is from Dinner Hey. This is a track from Sabrina Carpenter titled Juno. So let's go. Let's do it. Thank you, Dinner Hey, for this.
Don't have to tell your heart that's a thing. Oh yeah, you just get it. Whole package, babe, I like the way you fit. God bless your dad's genetics. You make me wanna make you fall in love. Oh, late at night I'm thinking about you. I wanna try on my fuzzy pink handcuffs. Oh, I hear you knocking, baby. Come on up. I know you want my touch for life. If you love me right, then who knows? I might let you make me Juno. You
Fair
know
call, Blue
I
Dinner Box.
just might let you lock me down tonight. One of me is cute, but too low. Give it to me, baby. You make me wanna make you fall in love. Oh.
Yeah, hella catchy, man.
I showed my friends, then we high-fived. Sorry if you feel objectified. Can't on myself, hormones are high. Give me more than just some butterflies. You make me wanna make you fall in love. Oh, late at night I'm thinking about you. I wanna try out some freaky positions.
Have you ever tried this one?
I know you want my touch for life. If you love me right,
a slide guitar solo, nice. Ah, wonderful work harmonizing those, dude.
know you want my touch for life. If you love me right, then who knows? I might let you make me Juno. You know I just might let you lock me down tonight. One of me is cute, but two, give it to me, baby. You make me wanna make you fall in love.
That was fantastic. That was Juno from Sabrina Carpenter. What I think this track is about, I think it is basically about finding a new love interest, one that they're quite sexually attracted to, and just really wanted to do stuff for them. Blue Dinnerbox says, I think Juno is referring to the movie Juno. So when she talks about like, one of me is cute, but two though. Yeah, they're talking about basically she wants to be knocked up and made pregnant, I assume. With the I Might Let You Make Me Juno reference, which is very intense, but you know, more power to him, I suppose. If you're into that someone, why not? So I think that the vocal performance from Sabrina Carpenter was phenomenal. She's a great singer, really confident in her vocal range, your hidden chest voice. Really well handles this track well. There's some spoken parts there. There's a bit of flirtation, very comfortable, not just with the main sort of sung vocal parts and the harmonies and the chorus, as well as the voiceovers and backing and double tracks, but also the little sort of melodic tails we have in certain parts there, how they flutter and kind of go up and down in a step really neatly is dope as well. Really appreciate what we're trying to accomplish with the rest of the track. There's some interesting guitar, bass, and drum parts, some synth parts as well, I suppose. The main sort of ingredients again are the guitar, bass, and drums. I really enjoyed the chord note accents on those kick, snare, and cymbal patterns. There was some interesting 8th and 16th alternates there with certain kick and sort of fill parts. The bass line in the bottom being nice and full sounding and it just really kind of like vivacious and it pulls you in and it's just really kind of like fun to listen to. I enjoy that too. The guitar lines for me, a personal highlight for me were the slide guitars in that later part. They are kind of in that mid range for a lot of the track and a bit more kind of gentle-ish, I suppose, with some interesting sort of acoustic strum parts and like you want to make me fall in you want to make me you make me want to make you fall in love part. You hear some strum parts and bits going side to side. But how we had the lead guitars with the slide kind of going backwards and forwards, that was really neat. But then to harmonize almost like the two people are slide, you know what I mean, where we're going from that. It's just really, it's really clever stuff. It's a really beautiful situation. It's just a gorgeous sort of like tone to the track overall, full of warm and full of life and positivity and just bit really into it. And just, it's the theme overall, despite just how like kind of like optimistic and peppy and energetic and charismatic it is, it does seem like full of love and it's exactly what you want from a track like this. It makes sense with the harmonies, with the instrumental performances, with the affectation of the way we sing. It everything sort of like clicks together and joins the boxes really neatly, and it makes perfect sense to me that Sabrina Carpenter is in the position there and as a musician, they're absolutely smashing it. The studio recording, mixing, and mastering is commercial grade. Things are nicely leveled in the free spectrum, and in the stereo field, no issues with Sabrina Carpenter's vocals. They can clearly sing, really well leveled, nice and loud without pumping. Bass compression is handled well, and yeah, the whole album is full of summer pop vibe. But thank you to Dinnerhay for putting this track forward from Sabrina Carpenter. This track titled Juno. Hopefully you feel better soon, considering you're quite tired. Sleep well, my friend. Hopefully things go well. Nah, I cancelled it though. I cancelled it. Bro, this should not be making a thing. Nah, this is not right. I cancelled it. It's closed. Am I getting more requests even though I've closed the queue? No, this shouldn't be happening. I closed the queue. What's going on? Why is Ko-fi not respecting this? I can't do more requests. I've closed the queue. Like, literally, if I go here, it says that I've closed the queue, but I still got a request then. Like, just then. I can't do more of these. It's really frustrating. I don't actually know if I'll be able to do all these requests, which is really frustrating because Ko-fi needs to respect that. Yeah, I can't do it. I literally closed the queue. Like, I closed the queue quite a while ago. I can't do it because I don't have time. And that's really, I sent the message a while back. Yeah, I sent it here. So I'm really sorry, Owen. I'm sorry. I can't do that today. Sorry, Owen. I can't do this one today. Could we please do it tomorrow instead? Ko-fi wasn't supposed to let it through, as I'd closed the queue. Like, I'm already kind of running tight on time because of the fact that another few came in after I closed it. It would absolutely be next time. It's just that I can't do it because of the fact that I just don't have the time. I tried to allow for the queue to close by that point, and it makes me feel bad about it, but it's just, I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on there. I imagine it's disappointing, but also it's out of my control in a situation. I can try and rush it through and make a shit effort of it, but I don't want to do that because you've made a request and I want to review you're tracking the same way as everyone else. So it's just, it's just annoying. So that's disappointing, but it's just what it is. Anyways, we'll move forward. Hopefully nothing else comes through. Today, I mean. Like, tomorrow is fine, but I just can't do it today. Anyways, we got Dinner Hay's been done. Thank you, Dinner Hay, for your request. I appreciate it. I appreciate all requests. I just wish Ko-fi would respect when I say no. So I got one more from Leo. I got a few more from Leo, to be fair. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, cool. Leo, what have we got? Okay, let's go. Let's do it. So we got a track from Hua Xinyu. This is Yantai Mars. Start at 40. Okay, cool. We'll start at 40. There we go. Thank you. Oh, Eternal Flame. There are gorgeous harmonies. Great parallel major on there. That industrial intro was really interesting with the synths there. Yeah, I'm gonna pause just because it's like really where is that message? Yeah, where is that message? Yeah, so just in case people are coming in, just because we've had to finish the live stream a bit earlier. Um, request by me, Kofi. Sup, Dragonfly. Welcome to the live stream. We don't have more space for requests today. We've had quite a lot through, which I appreciate, but we just can't do more today. We can do more tomorrow though. So if yourself or anyone else wants to put through requests, we can listen to more tracks tomorrow afternoon. I'll be doing this again tomorrow as well. Thank you for coming along though. 'Interesting use of hand leads here. Oh. Excellent. That was Eternal Flame from Huaxin Yu. What do I think this track is about? I think it's about someone who is realizing that they need to keep their own flame strong. They've gone through some difficulties in their own life, and they're trying to sort of find their way out of that to get to a brighter place. And they're realizing that they need to sort of fight back. I think that's what the later half of it is not allowing yourself to become overwhelmed by that stuff, knowing that it's okay to go on your own journey, your own path, to be able to sort of move things your way. And the rap parts then are a bit more sort of like assertive. Maybe we weren't as assertive as we needed to be in the previous part to be able to get to where we needed to, and now we're doing that. So there's a certain sense of duality there that I appreciate their personality-wise throughout the track, and I think it's great to experience those different angles from Hua Yu. Again, another really solid vocal performance. They're very comfortable in our vocal range. The rapped part's really cool. There's an interesting sort of sense of flow with that. It was an interesting transition back into the sung parts of the chorus, but I appreciate in a compositional context that we wanted to like go back into that. I feel like there was so much going on within the track that it may not have hit as hard in a live situation as the studio one, but I still appreciate the fact they were trying to sort of quickly go back between those vibes. And I feel like there was a lot of time in this track to appreciate everything else, so the vocals coming in and out like that was totally okay. We handled our head and chest voice really well. There are some really sort of like endearing harmonies throughout it, and we never lost ourselves within the mix. It was a good time. Really well performed. They were very comfortable as a front person, and I think also like the gunshot or something like that was kind of interesting. I'm not sure what that was meant to represent, but either way, again, it's just charisma. We're very comfortable as a front person. We had the crowd enraptured. The track itself at 5 minutes, something or other, 5.5 minutes there, I feel like it's wonderfully textured with a range of different synth guitar, bass, and drum parts there. The synths are made basically to sort of establish more of a sense of kind of angst or like tension, almost like we're in the darkness there. The kind of dusty sounding guitars around us with some arpeggios there, sort of letting us know, hey, things aren't as great as we want them to be at this point in time. Things are a little bit kind of dark, but that's okay. Like we move on and upwards from that. And later on, when things get a bit more sort of like intense there, we have clearly with the drum, there's halftime for most of the piece. But when the rapping comes in, it's like 1, 2, more sort of normal time-ish there with the chord note accents on the drums there. With a great sense of groove from the alternative kind of strumming or picking on the sort of guitar parts and the rhythm section. The bass line underneath being sort of like really sort of supportive of what the rhythm guitars are doing in the mix, as well as forming a great sense of rhythmic cohesion with the drums and the synths continuing without some interesting sort of like patterns going between left and right there that make the track sparkle, especially when we get a bit more kind of upbeat and we get a bit louder there and play with the dynamic range a bit. It's good. It's a well-written track there that develops naturally over time. No complaints whatsoever about the way things are handled there. The theme overall, with again the tone of the guitars, the drums, bass, the vocal style, the performance there, everything, like the minor tone of it as well as the slowness of it invokes a sense of maybe a feeling of hopelessness initially, but then when things pick up, it's like, no, we're going to fight back against it, which is cool. A bit more kind of aggressive and in your face, but that's kind of the spirit of it. The studio recording, mixing, and mastering for the concert is well handled there. No complaints whatsoever about how things are done in that regard there. It just sounds really polished. Got nothing but love for it. Thank you to Leo for putting through this track from an ex named Hua Xin Yu. From the title, The Eternal Flame there, it seems like a really fun time. It would have been a great concert to go to. I can imagine people who were there would have had a hell of a time there. The laser show and everything like that, you know. When the gunshot went off, people were really sort of vibing with that, which was really interesting. And the next track we have is also from Leo. We have the band view. Hello, Angel, as well as Tongwu. Welcome to the live stream. Hopefully you all are having a good day today. We have 5 tracks to go. A fair few of these are from Hua Xin Yu, which has been interesting, but that's cool. I've been learning a bit more about Hua Xin Yu recently. Thank you also to Leo for this one as well. Thanks for your request. Let's go, let's do it. So this is the band view of that Eternal Flame track, which is cool. Oh, hell yeah, the tremolo pick. And the synths, there were synth strings as well, performing a sort of harmonic, melodic, minor kind of vibe of that as well. That's really cool. Yeah, the bass in time with those kicks. And switching to the heaviness of those rhythms or the chunks. Oh, he's slapping on the bass. Nice. The fires of war, is it more about like actual like trying to break through the battle that other people are going through? Is it talking about like a literal war or something like that? Don't surrender to reality. Or is it our own sort of personal war that we're discussing? Fantastic transition here. Back in the lead here. The tightness of the drum performance there, man. Well done, fantastic effort. So that was the actual band backstage musicians footage of Hua Xin Yu's Eternal Flame. Thank you to Leo for putting this forward. I appreciate being able to see the musicians behind it as well, in addition to Hua Xin Yu, because you get a feel for how they're approaching the track. This isn't going to be as detailed as a breakdown as I gave for the previous track, because a lot of it applies. But a few other things I really appreciate about this track in particular were, for example, the bass lines. We didn't just sort of do fingerstyle. We did like slap and pop, which was kind of dope. And having that slap, it was really heavy and had a great sort of sense of unison with what was going on with those kick drums. But because you slap it, it sounds more percussive, like duh, which is really cool. So I like what the bass player was doing there. Like we understood how to voice those notes in a way that made sense within the composition. The drums, great sense, great range of 8th, sort of clear 16th note grooves there on the kit there, thoroughly sort of comfortable with our hi-hat and snare and kick parts, which is really dope. And nothing but love for what we were trying to accomplish here in regards to that, because we kept things relatively minimalist on the kit without expanding too much in any specific direction. It's basically just to be supportive of most of the other elements. There are like occasional like changes of groove there with the 16th notes and stuff like that, but like not to an extent where it was taking away from it. Taken away from what other instruments doing. It's still like quite good teamwork. The guitar parts with the minimalism of those earlier sort of rhythm guitar parts there, with some of the leads kind of fading in and out there, were sort of anthemic there, but they're also very atmospheric. The lead solo that we had near the end there was wonderfully phrased there. It was a very different solo from the street picking we had in the previous track, but it was still very sort of like almost like a bird flying over the sky, which I like. And I think just it was a very great sort of like extra sub layer and sub lead in addition to everything else. And again, the chugginess, the kind of new metalish tone of the early 2000s with the rhythm section with the kind of rapping was just absolutely to die for. I thought, again, the guitar, bass, and drum parts within this track have performed really well. Thank you to Leo for putting this track forward. Thank you to Quo Dahlia for telling me it's a theme song for a video game, and thanks to Le Pianiste. You're welcome, Le Pianiste. You're welcome. It's been a good time, and thanks to Quo Dahlia as well for coming along. Thank you to all of you who are coming along to the live stream so far. I appreciate you being a part of it and for putting tracks forward. It's good times. It's good times. We've figured stuff out. We got the graphics card working. Owen Rose says, are we recording this and uploading it afterwards? So this will be on YouTube. This live stream will be on YouTube. So any requests I do will be on YouTube, with the exception of if YouTube decides to block it. So if YouTube decides to block this live stream because of a track, I probably won't be able to feature that track because of copyright issues. But anything else should be absolutely fine. And it's only a sometimes thing with the blocks. And it's not something I can get around. But either way, thanks for your time. This is a request for Judith. This is a track from Eason Chan titled White Rose. Let's do it. Let's go. Beautiful pianos to start things off. Ah.
白如白牙熱情被吞噬，香檳早揮發得徹底。白如白鵝潛回紅塵俗世，苦堪過靈位。但是愛就變階梯後，如同骯髒污穢不要提。沉默大笑玫瑰，帶刺回禮只信任防衛。
I love how the pianos Great buzz rolls, man. 作廢當愛已經流逝，下一世。 Oh, switch up with the chords here, nice. I love the drum parts before, they were sensational. The strings on the other side. Tremendous. So this is a piece from Eason Chan titled White Rose, if I'm not mistaken. Another song by Eason. A lot of people liked it for its melody and lyrics. I was inspired by Don Ashley, drummer, and talented percussions. The drumming is absolutely phenomenal, to be fair, Judith. Absolutely phenomenal. Albert Leung's lyrics are a bit hard to translate. The main idea is that love is like roses, beautiful, but it came with thorns. The protagonist tried to even stoop so low as to be sort of a slave to the girl, but in the end, still has to give up on the relationship. Well, that explains the sadness of the feel of the overall track, but thank you to Judith for helping me to understand what the track is about, despite the language barrier. It is indeed a song that sounds like someone working through the fact that they've had to suffer that loss, even no matter how hard they've tried. It's a really beautiful song that's sung really sweetly by Eason Chan, and they he smashed it. Really comfortable in his head and chest voice, great vocal technique, really compelling melodies throughout the track there. Harmonizes really neatly with everything else going on within the arrangement. And they definitely sound like they're feeling what they're singing about there. They sound like they're mourning the loss of that, the mourning the loss of having to deal with the thorns and stuff like that. The track itself is filled with a combination of different percussive bass and string parts there. Relatively minimalist composition that is it's just handled so eloquently by what's going on. Like it's a great accompaniment to what Eastern Chan is doing. I think part of what I appreciate about this is that the transitions between the verses and choruses are so smooth, but like the instruments take almost equal precedence. I appreciate the fact that the drummer has a great sense of pace and like we have like a quarter note accent too. But then it's just all these intricate like ghost notes, sort of eighth and 16th and buzz rolls that come in a bit later on because that they aren't there immediately. Um, yeah, the piano, of course, the start. The piano is the introduction to it. And then you have the strings coming a bit later on. The piano playing some wonderful major and minor triads there that are very delicate and pretty, and they really sort of like fill in the free spectrum stereo field really neatly, but also imply a direct, immediate sense of what the rest of the track is going to be like by the feel of it. And then you have the strings come in with that bit of extra emotional weight, sort of moving around in that mid range. It's just an innate sadness with the legato passages there played in a way where you definitely do feel like something is wrong. Then you get the story from Eason, and then you get like the buzz rolls, the occasional buzz rolls, and we've come into it. We have this really elegant sort of professionalism on the kit there with these really eloquent passages there that are just really intriguing because they're not all the same loudness. There's a lot of little inner workings to sort of enjoy there, whether you're someone just listening to the groove or someone that wants to know more. The bass line underneath? No, I don't know if there was a bass line. I mean, there was clearly a bass line, but I don't know if there's a dedicated bass instrument underneath. It could have been like a cello or something on the low end, but like there wasn't like a big pull underneath, like a lot of sub bass or anything like that. It was mostly, you had the strings on the right side, and then it came through on the left later on as a higher element to sort of develop the piece there. We had dynamic range and changes in intensity, which made it more interesting as we went along there, despite the lack of adding newer instruments past the halfway point. It was just a piece where I think ultimately it sounded like we were sort of not necessarily wallowing, but we were soaked in that sadness of that situation. And no matter how hard we tried to sort of cling up to the top to get to a point where we could kind of get past how we're feeling, we are having to cope with the reality of the situation we're in. And we just, it's a song about feeling that out. It's that realization and how it hits. It's a clever song there that adds a lot, but doesn't put it all in your face. And I appreciate that. The studio recording, mixing, and mastering is wonderful. There is like headroom to it. It's not the same loudness all the time. There's incredible dynamic range with a lot of the drum parts, especially. Easton Chan's vocals are effervescent within the mix, easy to sort of listen to, and sort of like they niche well and are leveled well with again the string, piano elements, etc. And we smashed it. Like we had different intensities of different instruments throughout the track. Nothing was the same for too long. There was variation compositionally, and there was no filler. But it was also just the fact that it was nice and loud without pumping. So, like it is commercial grade in regards to its production. It's just a very warm, endearing piece despite the inherent minor leaning to the track there. You want to, you enjoy it because of the beauty of it rather than the way it makes you feel, I suppose. But either way, really, really, it's a really well made and well written, well performed track from Eason Chan, that being titled White Rose. And yeah, thank you to Judith for putting that forward. I've been enjoying listening to more of Eason Chan's work recently. It's been great to hear it. Really talented musician, singer, songwriter. I'm aware. Actually, I know. There we go. That's cool. There we are. I'm glad I caught that. We got 3 more tracks today, though. This next one is from Shin Yi-da. This one from Shin Yi-da is titled. I'm not sure what that means. Crane, Don't Mind. And I've been asked to turn on the English subtitles, which I absolutely will. Thank you for the Shin Yi-da if you are still watching. I know it's been a while since we put these tracks through, so we might not be, but that's okay. Let's go. The Crane, Don't Mind. The subtitles are on.
只想听见你的声音。
Oh, that sub bass though.
不在意，我只想抱着你的身体，其他不在意。我是像海水一般拥挤，我也不介意，每一秒都比前一刻更亲昵。我需要看见你的身影，其他不在意。我需要呼吸你的呼吸，其他不在意。外面的世界再多拥挤，我也不介意，不介意人情世故，季节更替。
Very parallel major there.
是热情不在，还是你都在忍耐？一起说将来，不如就趁现在，在全世纪这陷入欢愉的时候，吻你的气味胜过无数次邂逅，只将静静等待快干的指甲油，星期天一直到礼拜六，我只想听见你的声音，其他不在意。我只想抱着你的身体，其他不在意。我是像海水一般拥挤，我也不介意，每一秒都比前一刻更亲昵。7年后的天地，下着雨的巴黎，若世界只剩我和你，根本无需多虑。副热带的天气，多雨多晴，多出来的是我还是你？本外是热情不在，还是你都在忍耐？说将来，不如就趁现在，在全世纪这陷入欢愉的时候，闻你的气味胜过无数次邂逅，就这样静静等待快干的指甲油，星期天一直到礼拜六，我只想听见你的声音，其他不在意。我只想抱着你的身体，其他不在意。外面的世界再多拥挤，我也不介意，不介意人情世故，季节更替。Yeah.
That was fantastic. I think that was a track from The Crane titled Don't Mind, version 2, official video. What do I think this track is about? I think it's about someone that is looking at their significant other or like a person they're into, and they're wondering where the spark gone, are things not the same anymore? They're looking at how even though there's a lot of other options for them elsewhere, they only prefer that one person that they're with. And they're kind of looking at life and all this kind of little wonderments and sort of trying to sort of reaffirm the connection they have to that other person, I think, and trying to understand why they might not be feeling the same way. That's my understanding of Don't Mind from the Crane. It's a really solid vocal performance from the Crane. They've got great vocal technique, very comfortable in their head and chest voice there. The melodies that we choose here work really well within the key signature present, and we also have some really neat stuff going on in regards to the parallel majors that we have occasionally. We rise with the last note of that final chord of those sequences in a way that's really satisfying. The way that we handle things in regards to like the actual personality within it is very kind of confident but calm and collected and very smooth, and it suits the vibe of the track, which at 3 minutes 52 mainly consists of, if I'm not mistaken, what's at the end there? Congrats on your wedding, Rebecca. Oh, that's cute. That's nice. So it's about the wedding of the person. That's neat. So it could also be about like married couples or something like that. I don't know. But either way, the track is mainly consistent. It fills with drums and bass, and there's like electric keys there. and some synthy parts there, and other little sparkles around the stereo field there. The main layers, of course, being the bass and the keys and the drums. We didn't necessarily need more than that. We have these wonderful extension chords there, these major and minor extended chords there that provide a sense of proclivity, a proclivity for sophistication within it, but not to the point where it becomes detrimental. They sound kind of sophisticated, and they sound like someone who is experiencing some complicated feelings, but like in a way where it's like chilled out and they're not like getting too overwhelmed by it. The parallel majors sort of say, hey, things will get better, even if things kind of a bit messy at the moment. We can still find that spark, we can still enjoy things and have fun and find what we used to have, and that we shouldn't really be minding things to overthinking things too much. The drums with a sense of groove with the 8th, quarters, and 16ths there, with the occasional 16th there. It's just a sort of like a sassy not a swing pace. It could actually be swing, to be fair, swing triplets, but like I'm going to go with straight or 16th. I can't decide. Either way, there's like a slow enough quarter note groove on the accents there that's kind of irrelevant. It's just a very sleek track there at a steady pace there with the bass line moving between both the root notes and also other parts of the triads involved. And it's the way that things are panned. It's like we create an atmosphere again with the sparkly sort of elements there that reinforce the triads on the sides of the stereo field with the bass and drums in the center, and the keys kind of littered throughout in different parts between the right and left hands. Bum, bum, and we kind of, again, accentuate some of those triad notes or extensions to add a bit of flair and sort of drama to it, but in a very positive way. The song sounds like someone who is like a bit concerned about what's going on, but they know that things are going to inevitably turn out okay in the end. And you get the feeling that this is more geared towards a more positive outlook on maybe, the spark does leave eventually, but you just got to just figure out what like made it work in the first place. The music suggests that in a way I think the vocals do. And it's just really intelligent. And it's easy to listen to because of lack of harsh textures or unwarranted chromatics within the mix. It's just clever music. Really easy to listen to. The studio recording, mixing, and mastering is commercial grade. Nothing to scoff at at all. And the vocals, the guy could just clearly sing. The Crane can just clearly sing very comfortable by themselves, as well as like working with other people. And they niche really neatly with the keys, the bass, the drums, any of the sort of synth textures and stuff like that in a way that's effortless and very sad. Again, there's dynamic range. It's just a really well produced song there that doesn't overcomplicate itself. And yeah, it's like very efficient with the way it structures and niches stuff in the frequency spectrum. Like we have just the right amount of stuff to not overlap or cause like a certain kind of adverse weighting somewhere. It was awesome. I really respect what the Crane is doing, but thank you Shinyida for putting through this request for this track from the Crane titled "Don't Mind." It's cool. That is that one. It was great to have the lyrics through for that. I appreciate that. Now we have 2 more to go, though. We have 2 more. The one is from Cromino. Thanks for your request. And this track is titled Snowscape from the band Apart. Let's go, Cromino. Let's do it. What do we got? Here we are. Thank you to Cromino for your request. Hang on, there we are. Yeah, that's the tricky thing about having because I'm not sure how many people are on chat at the moment, and it's fine either way. I'll still do the songs. But when you get like a stack of 8, it's like, when is my track going to be played, right? And so it can be like, I don't know if my track is going to be played. But anyway, thank you, Cromino, for this. Band Apart, Snowscape.
On a snowy day, the sky is gray, brings me a slush, the corduroy, with a tiny stain. I stay up late, I stray beside the crystal lights, atmosphere spreads out over the sky like feathers, blinking lights on the street, water tubes, sunless, a midnight shores on.
The way the guitars are panned is wonderful, do it back and forth.
every time I stay. I stay up late. I swear besides the crystal light atmosphere spread out over the sky like feathers. Rain can light on the street. Walk the truth, soundless combination. Silence in the silent night, waiting for somebody on the corner. My hood prints on the snow. Tell me where should I go? Where should I sleep? Oh, I'm walking this way. Oh, I'm the snow in landscape. Oh, starlight diffuses. Oh, everything is so close.
Switch up, nice.
I'm walking this way. Oh, I'm the snow in landscape. Oh, starlight diffuses. Oh, everything is so close. I'm walking this way. Oh, I'm the snow in landscape. Oh, starlight diffuses. Oh, everything is so close. Walking in snowscapes. Walking in snowscapes.
I'm not really sure to make what to make of this track from Next Name Snowscape titled the band is the band apart. The song is titled Snowscape. I'm not sure what to make of this. I like the track a lot. I'm not sure what the track is about apart from it being about someone walking through the snow and maybe their experience having maybe the way they grew up in a snowscape or something like that, like finding their way walking through it. Maybe it's trying to like with the gray sky and everything like that. Maybe it's trying to find their way through a storm of some kind. I'm not sure either way. I think that the way the vocals tell the story is fantastic. It's almost kind of scarish in style there. It's very personable and friendly and energetic and cheery, and it's trying to sort of like get you involved in the track in a way where even if it's a bit sad sounding, you don't necessarily feel that from the way that we sing. It's a song where there's a lot of color in general between the guitar, bass, and drum parts. But like the vocal melodies and harmonies are really pretty. They coalesce neatly with the existing harmonies within the progression, like key and scale wise. The song at like 3 minutes 27 features a lot of different verse and chorus parts there with like an interlude kind of section as well. And we never lose like I feel like the vocals might have been a little bit too quiet within the mix personally, just because I didn't get all the words through clearly. But that also could be just simply because I just need another time to sort of purely focus on the vocals. I should be able to get both. But either way, great technique, makes sense for the genre, no complaints whatsoever about it. We clearly wanted to be there and we sold it. I think the track itself, again at 3 minutes 27, is well fleshed out structurally. The way that we played the guitar parts is it's really energetic. There's lots of interesting sort of like overdriven guitar parts on the right with arpeggiated stuff on the left. And we never find ourselves hang on a minute, I'm just gonna like just double check something. Good. I like the fact that we have like a cleaner sort of almost clean lead texture on the left, doing some interesting hammer on pulley-offy stuff, some really sort of frenetic notes on the left. With the chords on the right there, it leaves a lot of space for the bass and drums in the middle of the stereo field to do their thing. The drums are just voracious the entire time, or for most of it. They're such a quick tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. We experiment with 8s and 16ths and maybe even quicker without some of the roll components there. We clearly want to get people up and dancing and jumping. And I think that measures a similar sort of intensity to the vocal parts. You know, it's just that's that kind of tune there. And the bass parts keep in time with the drums really neatly, following the root notes of the chord progressions. The guitar parts, again, with the way they perform slightly different functions with the chords on one side and then sort of lead elements going backwards and forwards between another. There's constant sense of interest between those parts there to figure out what's going on. And it's just very exciting. And we have parts where it comes together and you sort of hear more everything a little more statically, like I think in the interlude part, but then it kind of picks up again and you just leave the track feeling like you've been on one hell of an adventure, but in a very positive way. The theme overall, with the color of the major and minor chords there, the brightness of it overall, kind of makes it seem like even though we're in a snowscape, it isn't necessarily a negative experience we're having. Even though there's a bit of a gray sky, we're going to find our way through it and get out of it. That's the kind of feel from it. There's like some interesting, unusual chromatics or like some like extensions in there that dictate a bit of tension, but we never stay on that for too long. So I feel like there's a great balance there. I've got no complaints about it at all. It's really well written, and the performance is incredibly tight without a note out of place. The studio recording, mixing, and mastering, the way things are leveled there is fantastic. Great sense of like the leveling. For the most part, is good. I think I said the vocals are a little bit too quiet, but aside from that, very well handled. The guitars on the sides, going beside sides, stereo field is really, really dope. And I think that the bass line is nice and thick and full and niches well underneath what the drums are doing. Things are nicely leveled, as I mentioned, but also there's no weird resonant frequencies. There is dynamic range. It's not the same lasting the entire time, even though there's a similar intensity for a lot of it. And it's nice and loud without pumping, so the bus compression and limiting was handled. So this is just, I think it's a really great first impression to the band apart. And this song, Snowscape, thank you to Cromino for your request. I appreciate it. That was a good time. That was a good time. Man, we have really smashed through these songs. I feel like I reviewed all of them. I feel like I reviewed them though. Sometimes I feel like I haven't necessarily reviewed stuff properly. But I think in this situation, it's been done to an extent that I'm personally happy with. And I feel like if you listen to that, you get a lot of the information you'd probably need to or expect in that environment, which is kind of the point, I suppose, right? But this track is from Shin Yi-da. This is Leo Wang featuring 9888 with a track titled Holiday with You.
陪你过假日，你想要出门走走，我想说下次，但天气实在不错，不忍心看到你失望落寞，所以我暂时放下纸跟笔 ，Say sure let's go。一到了外头，我全身湿透，河边的臭小孩都像是恶魔，对我比着666。我小时候都玩溜球，他们都玩 Pokemon，Go welcome to the jungle。在都市丛林里小心别犯错，不过抽了根烟没那么严重。有些人犯法不犯罪，让经典重现，醉翁之意不在酒，在 swag。 我只想你陪我去散散心，可是你却面无表情。
98's fantastic vocal timbre.
我以为我们可以一起探索这座城市，发觉彼此身上从没见过的样子，可是你不是，我真的已尝试。
为了你我已经尝试在假日跟你一起去逛过早市，但夜猫族不擅长在白天办事，那场子没人惹事，但我受够那些脏三烈士。 My lover 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 don't say no, I just wanna have home, I don't feel so well, I don't like people。 最好是来看我们演唱会，就好其他时间勿扰，脑袋空空，也装不下这城市中每张奇葩的面孔。 I gotta go, I gotta go， 我要回家写歌，你可以回家，你可以看书啊。
爱情不过是一种
Little bit of personality there.
为何遇到那么多差距？我们的差距是否忘了算进去？
对啊，应该是忘了。
爱情不过是一种频率，为何遇到那么多差距？我们的差距是否忘了算进去？我只想你陪我去散散心，可是你却面无表情，说还有事情，我真的不懂你。我以为我们可以一起探索这座城市，发觉彼此身上从没见过的样子，可是你不是，我真的已尝试。
No, that's wonderful. I appreciate the theme there. Directed by Kao Ching Kai and everyone else involved. Thank you to Shinny Duff putting this track forward from Leo Wang featuring 9M88 titled Holiday with You. What I think this track is about, I feel like it's trying to insinuate that it feels like a holiday when the two people are together, if that makes sense. It's like the vibe that you get from each other feeding off. There's a really wonderful chemistry between Leo and 9M88 in this song, and I adore that. I think that that's a beautiful thing. When you have collaborations, you want the sum of it to be greater than the individual components. And we had that here for sure. It's a song where outside of what I think the track is about, with obviously with the stoner references, getting high, just kind of vibing with each other, having a relaxing time out and just enjoying and having fun. It's a song where Leo's rapping in combination with the clean vocals are tight. They're a welcome texture within this. Initially, I felt like they were kind of peaking in the mic a little bit, and I still think that is the case. But I'm wondering if that was a deliberate thing for a bit of sort of acoustic distortion or analog distortion with the mix to make it sound a bit more old school. I think that 9M88 had a distinct vocal tone timbre that worked well, niched alongside Leo's stuff, was an instant contrast when they came in, and then when they harmonized together, you could hear both of them really clearly when they harmonized with similar melodies, or they had their own parts, they had their own feature, and it was easy to understand what was going on. Both had solid vocal technique in their respective styles, very comfortable in head and chest voice, and great charisma within the actual visible performance itself. And no complaints whatsoever about the way they carried themselves. It was also nice to have moments to appreciate the backing theme because there were various verse and chorus sections there. We didn't overcomplicate the backing motif. You know, we had the trumpets there with the bass and the drums, and that was the predominant amount of what we had going on there. The brass section almost made it seem like it was a tale as old as time, like looking back into our childhood, like a nostalgia or something like that. Which was kind of cool, and it matched a lot of the kind of analog distortion sounds I heard within the voice from Leo Wang, as well as the old school kind of like recording style of 9M88's vocals. Like there wasn't a whole lot of precision with like the post production in regards to trying to make it kind of like modern. It was a situation where we tried to make it a little bit more sort of like, again, a little bit more sort of nostalgia, a bit more old school with the vintage feel. And with the audiovisual experience as well, with like the brownish kind of parts going on through the tints there. But the brass had a kind of a relaxed, upbeat, gentle, jazzy feel to it that made it almost seem like a day in the life kind of environment there, sticking to a major tone there. There's some extensions to illustrate a sense of sophistication without overcomplicating the arrangement too much or trying to sort of like illustrate. It was like it just wanted to be more sophisticated rather than elicit a feeling that there was more than meets the eye to it. The bass line underneath supported those root notes well, and the drums with the quarter note kick, snare with the kind of crashiness of those was just kind of bombastic, and it slapped, and it had a great kind of rigidity to it that made it predictable with most of the diversity within the composition coming from the vocals anyways. And I think that main motif stuck. It was good for the length of the track. I think if we'd had a longer track, it would have needed more variety to it. But I think that for what we had, it was great. It was a fantastic collaboration. Again, we had multiple vocalists telling their sides and coming together, and the song just came in and out like that. And the theme itself, again, I've mentioned that the way that it sort of made me feel personally, the scale choices there, the use of the different instruments, replicating the style or vintage style that we're going throughout the track, as well as maybe the stuff we were talking about within the vocals. Either way, it was really, really tight. And the studio recording, mixing, and mastering as a final note was incredibly well handled, like in the sense that it did sound like a vintage old school track with the analog sort of distortion on Leo's voice. It was more kind of sounded like a recording from like the 40s or 50s or something like that, 1940s, 1950s. And I think it was meant to go back to that time. It wasn't overproduced or overpolished. Things were nicely leveled though in the frequency spectrum and stereo field. There was dynamic range to this to a certain extent, not too much though. A little bit boxy, but not to an extent where it's detrimental. Both singers could just clearly sing, so it didn't need to be overproduced or sterilized. And it was nice and loud without pumping, so the bus compression and limiting was handled. And effectively, that is my live stream for today. All of the requests that we had here, we had a lot of songs today from Leo, Judith, Aqua24, more of Leo, Dinner Hay as well. more of Leo, more from Judith, Shenyida, and Cromino. Thank you to all of you for putting your requests forward. I really appreciated it. I know we didn't get to do all of them. I know I've got to do Owen or Rose's one tomorrow, so we will do that tomorrow. But yeah, thank you very much for coming along, just hanging out. It's good to hear your songs. Have a fantastic day. Please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I will catch you in the next live stream. Spiderhands out. Take care, Judith. Have a